Okay. So question one. Uh, Complete the definition below by filling in the blank spaces with the correct word. With the correct word.
Christian, do you know that I'm now looking at the question well?
Yes, yes. A
I'm
second
like,
look is always.
so I'm supposed to fill, and I just wrote negotiation there. I just wrote the answer. I didn't think that I'm supposed to fill in both. My dream
Oh,
point for
uh, so they were to answer them together.
okay.
To dash with the objective of reaching and dash where appropriate of compromise. We know they are talking about negotiation,
Yes.
so you just have to fill in the blank space.
Okay.
So, what do you suggest?
To communicate with the objective of reaching an agreement where appropriate of compromise.
Voila.
Mhm.
So that is it. Some of the questions are so simple, and
But these ones, it won't come.
so it is. We are only using it to refresh our memory.
It be na
But,
me quoting. The simple one, in na meeting, no.
but it'll be fun. I think Beatrice is online now. Yes, Beatrice. Good morning. You're welcome.
Morning, Christian. Thank you.
You've been keeping us waiting. We've been waiting for you for almost.
Sorry.
Mm, okay, so we are happy seeing you on the platform. All right. So we just started. We just finished
Yeah.
question one. So to communicate with the objective of reaching an agreement where appropriate or compromise. So we are moving to question two. Choose 5 conflict management styles based on the Thomas Kilman conflict model. Thomas Kilman conflict model. Okay. So if you've read the book, I know we've done it. I know you've read it. You will be able to answer this question. So we are choosing 5 conflict management styles. You did it in learning outcome 1.2 or so.
Yeah.
So we are choosing 5.
Okay.
So I'm choosing A. A is 1. You are going to choose
Okay.
the rest.
I'm choosing B.
Okay, correct.
C. D. Sorry.
D, correct.
D. Collaborating.
And
So we have
I'll also
3 now.
choose. Yeah. I'll also choose E. Accommodating. D.
Correct.
Accommodating.
And then G. Avoiding.
Avoiding. Perfect. Perfect. So complete A, B, D, E, and G. Okay. Yeah, correct. Question: choose French and Robin's 5 types of power. 5 types of power. 5 types of power. Yeah. So let's go. Or you want
A.
me to choose first?
No.
That's how they will choose to. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's
I'll
go.
start first. I'll start.
Mhm.
I'll choose A.
A, good, legitimate.
Yeah.
Legitimate.
B.
Okay. B, reference power is also correct.
I choose C.
C, reward power is also correct.
D.
D, expert power is also correct.
And then G, coercion.
And D, coercion, yes, coercive power is also correct. Okay. Then question 4. Which of the following traits would be found in a transactional supplier? Choose 3 correct answers. Would be found in a transactional supplier. Yeah.
Okay, A.
A,
The first,
limited
yeah,
negotiation.
the first answer is A.
Okay.
B. Short-term relationship building.
Short-term relationship building. Okay.
Yeah. And E.
And E, automated purchasing. Very true. Very true. So in transactional relationships, you don't waste time at all. You don't negotiate for long because the items involved are standardized items. So you can use e-auction system. They can even bid online. That's even faster. So that you limit the face-to-face kind of negotiation. Okay. So there's limited negotiation, short-term relationship building. Yeah. Okay. Question 5. What is a partner? This one here, you don't need to look at the options. You just mention it. So what is a partner?
A is A.
A. A best alternative to a negotiated agreement. Okay. So Mitch, is this your first time?
Yes.
Hey.
The questions are not, they are not going to be as simple as this.
You said?
The questions will be as simple as and straightforward as what we are doing.
Oh, okay.
You know. So kindly take note so that you don't get surprised.
So that she doesn't be like me.
So we are only using it to refresh our memory, okay, and to test our understanding so far.
Okay.
All right. So question 6: stakeholders' views should be considered in negotiations. True or false?
True.
Okay, correct. Belbin stated teams from Belbin stated teams from storm, norm, and perform. These are the stages of team formation. Um, uh, do you agree? True or false?
It's false for me.
Why do you say it's false?
Because I know it's Norman who stated the team's how do you call it?
Okay. It's I think rather Tackman and Jensen.
Pardon?
Tackman and Jensen.
Yes.
Tackman and Jensen. So you are right with your answer. It's false. It's not Belgium. But they won't be giving you names. No, they won't be giving you names. Who developed this? Who did it? No. It's just one of the questions. This just came out. But it's not the norm. It's not the norm. Otherwise, people will be chewing names of authors.
Oh no, but Christian, I think one of the ones you would, I think something like that came up. Oh.
How many of them? One.
Just one, yes.
So we may have maybe one out of the lot. Just one. In level 5, there is a course in management, I think L5M1. That one you have to memorize a lot of theory and authors. That is where they will squeeze all those information from you. Level 5. So here they won't worry you that much. Maybe once in a while, get one question. So kindly take note of the authors of the various models.
Okay.
As well. Okay. Question 8. Teams do not need to be managed. You disagree. Fourth. Okay. Partners are not required within procurement. Do you agree?
No.
No.
No. Okay, partners are required. Adversarial relationships are win-win, true or false?
False.
False. Yes,
Yeah.
they are win rather. Adversarial suppliers can be treated unethically, true or false?
Christian.
Yeah.
True.
True, eh? Okay. So you can keep an adversarial supplier's money for an unsustainably longer period, without paying them. Would you agree?
No.
Okay. It's unethical. If you have even an adversarial relationship with the supplier, um, ethics is basically what is right or wrong.
Yeah.
You have to pay them on time. You don't say because you are bigger, you are more powerful, you keep their money for too long and pay them when you feel like paying them. It's unethical. And
So
there
the
are
answer is false.
yes, it's false. Adversarial suppliers. As for ethics, it applies to everybody, whether adversarial or co-destiny.
Okay.
What is good for you should equally be good for him. He has delivered. You promise paying 30 days after delivery. 30 days at last, you are not paying. 90 days, you are not paying. You are still using money. It's unethical. Okay. Suppliers might use surveys to gather feedback from purchasers. True or false?
No.
I know suppliers might use surveys to gather feedback, but from purchasers, no, I'm not too sure about it. Might use. Oh, is my mic on or off? Okay, my mic is on. Hello, Christian. Hello, Beatrice. Can you please hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I
Okay,
can't
so
hear
it's
from
Christian who
Christian.
is gone off. Okay, so it's he who's gone off.
Yeah, I think.
Hello.
Hello, Christian.
Oh, okay. I could hear you. I think I mistakenly muted my
Okay.
mic. Okay, so suppliers might use surveys to gather feedback from purchasers. Purchasers are customers, so it's true that suppliers might use surveys. That's why they use might.
Okay.
They may not always use surveys. Okay. Then question 13. Buyers should prepare trials and negotiations. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Then teams generally develop in 4 stages. True or false?
True.
Good. True. So forming, storming, norming, and performing. Okay. Question 15. The relationship spectrum ranges from adversarial to codependent. True or false?
True.
The relationship spectrum, yes, it ranges from adversarial to codependent.
But
So it's true.
Christian, the
Yes.
question 15, I don't understand though.
still understand that.
Understand.
Okay. I hope you have your book with you.
Yes.
Okay. Um, come to um, yeah. Go to learning outcome 1.4.
Finding outcome 1.4.
Yeah. Page
1.4. Where
yeah.
exactly?
Page 64.
Okay. Okay, I'm here. I've opened it.
Okay. What do you have on the page?
Um, relationships between a buyer and a supplier based on richness of communication,
Communication,
longevity,
longevity, and
and mutual dependence.
okay. So the diagram you see there is the
Yeah.
relationship spectrum. But you see, um, there is the original relationship spectrum. This is a modified version.
Okay.
So I drew it. If you've listened to the audio, I drew it in our lecture. That one starts from adversarial to, then from adversarial you move to arm's length. Then from arm's length you go to transactional. From transactional you go to closer tactical. From closer tactical we go to single sourcing, then outsourcing, then strategic alliance, then partnership and coded. Okay. So I will send you a picture of the diagram of the relationship spectrum after our class. Okay, or after the meeting. So you will have it. Don't worry. So it starts from adversarial to coded. Okay, question 60. Nickel or nickel? How should I pronounce nickel?
my,
Okay,
my children will pronounce it nickel.
nickel. Nickel.
But
So let's
but my
pronounce it.
Christian,
Mhm.
we can't see the
Yeah.
person 16 from a screen. No?
Oh, sorry. Question 16.
Yes.
Nickel is a buyer for a factory that manufactures children's soft toys. So they manufacture children's soft toys. He is assessing the different types of costs in preparing for compiling a budget. The toys are made on a production line with some salaried staff, but agency labor is used at peak times. Agency labor is used at peak time. It means when demand increases, they employ casual labor and pay them. Okay. The toys are all stuffed with a small polystyrene bead filling and have buttons sewn on four eyes. Four eyes. The factory is rented on a 10-year lease agreement from a local business person, but the cost does not cover utility bills, such as electricity and water, which fluctuate depending on the time of year and in line with production activity. Okay. Okay, so please give me a minute. Be thinking about your response. Okay, so Nikhil is a buyer for a factory that manufactures children's soft toys. He is assessing the different types of costs in preparing or in preparation for compiling a budget. The toys are made on a production line with some salaried staff, but agency labor is used at the time. The toys are all started with a small polystyrene bead filling and have buttons sewn on for eyes. The factory is rented on a 10-year lease agreement from a local business person, but the cost does not cover utility bills such as electricity and water, which fluctuates depending on time of year and in line with production activity. Now drag that and drop the correct answers into the blank spaces to complete the sentence. Now, on the first column, we have electricity for heating the canteen is a dash. So here we are looking at the type of cost. We have fixed cost, variable and indirect cost, variable cost, direct cost. And we are supposed to drag and drop them or fill them appropriately. Okay, so electricity for heating and or heating the canteen. Where does it fall? Is it fixed cost, variable cost, direct cost?
Variable cost.
Variable cost. Okay.
It's between variable or variable and indirect.
Okay. Then let's look at the agency of labor. Agency labor. The agency labor. Is it variable or fixed?
That one is variable.
That one is variable.
Mm,
Okay. Is it direct or indirect?
indirect.
It's indirect. Okay, don't worry. That one is variable. Straightforward variable cost.
Okay.
Electricity is also variable cost. Uh-huh. Electricity is also variable cost. So um, the indirect cost is cost that cannot be traced to a saleable unit of output. Okay, so electricity for heating, it is variable. It varies. Um, when you depending on the size of the canteen or the temperature,
Mm.
you may need more, and that may increase your consumption. That may increase your consumption. When the weather is very hot, you may not need that. I learned in the Western world when it's hot, they don't put on their chimneys and all that. It's only when it's cool. Okay. So electricity for heating the canteen is a variable cost because it changes. Even in our homes, if you consume more, you pay more. Mm.
Mm.
The bill will keep increasing. It will change your consumption. If you keep increasing your consumption, it will also change. So it's variable. And it's indirect. From a company point of view, it's indirect in the sense that it cannot be traced into to the final product. We can't find it in the final product. That is it. It's indirect cost.
Okay.
So electricity for heating is variable and indirect. but the agency labor is variable. It's variable cost. And look, that one can also be argued to be indirect.
Yes.
Yes, it can be argued to be indirect. So if someone puts the variable and indirect, or chooses variable and indirect for either electricity or agency labor, the person should be right. Okay, so don't worry. Then the polystyrene bit filling. The polystyrene bit filling. It's unfortunate that this time CIPS doesn't allow people to justify their responses. So, okay, let's move on. The polystyrene bead filling is a dash. What is it? Is it now we are left with direct and fixed cost?
That's a direct cost.
That's direct cost because we can find it in the final product.
Mm.
Yes, we can find it in the final product. Then the rent then becomes fixed cost. So if you're able to get the three correct, the last one will pick up for itself.
Mm.
Okay.
Christian, please let me ask this question before we move on. You see,
Okay.
when sometimes the questions they ask you to probably choose two.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know how it's marked. If one is
Okay.
correct, is it marked as full one, or they give you a 0.5, or they give you all wrong?
That is something that I'm not sure. I won't be able to give you a definite answer because myself, I don't know how they do their calculation. They haven't made it known to any student. Okay. They haven't made it known to any student. If you try, we've tried calculating it, looking at how, but it's just waste of time.
Yeah, because sometimes when you are answering it, you are certain of one, but the other you are not too certain. So I'm like,
Yeah.
is it that should I just leave it as it is so that I get a 0.5, or I add another one, which I'm not too sure if it is wrong, I lose my correct answer, I still get the 0.5. So I said I was
Good.
going to ask you the last time when I wrote, but if it just came up.
It's possible. I heard something of that sort. That when you, if you are supposed to choose three correct answers, and you choose two correct, one wrong, it affects the whole question. It means you've lost the whole mark. If it's 1 mark, you've lost the whole mark. So the three answers you would choose, or the three options you would choose, it must be three. The amount one. So it has to be so. But that will be unfair.
Yes.
Who are you to challenge? If that is so, we can only hope that God will lead us to choose the right answer.
Okay. Please, we can move on. Sorry. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, question 17. Which of the options below are macroeconomics? Choose 5 correct answers. Choose 5 correct answers. So this one like this, if you choose 4 correct answers and you are unable to choose the last one, it means 4 now choose the and I.
Okay, so what if I choose the 4 correct and I don't choose the other one?
And there's like you not that person.
Oh, but Christian, that's a way there.
Uh,
At least a mark should be awarded for something done.
Maybe they do it, but because they haven't made full disclosure of their marking scheme.
No, but you see, I think this will help someone like some people like us, so that at least you know that even if you don't get the whole of it, at least you know that you are getting something for work done.
Very true.
That's why I don't like objectives. I would really want written. That one day, then I will be your mark if you are baby.
And one of the confused lecture supervisor and examiner.
But this one I was supposed to choose. At least if I choose 4 and then one is wrong and you give me a 0.5, I'll be okay with it.
Yeah.
It is better than not getting anything at all.
Very true. I was really against the objective response. But you see, I understood CIPS. because you can't imagine what some people write. It makes marking very difficult, and they struggle. Some people they'll just confuse you. You can't mark them wrong. You can also mark them right. So to avoid all those wahala, they now limit the
But
options.
Christian objectives there thing.
And yeah, true.
Objectives
Very
ne thing because you are like when come with the mommy no man say me try and come at you. Because my understanding is different from the answers that have been provided.
Very true. Very true. So you're supposed to think in it. They want you to think in a certain way when you're answering questions. And to me, it is not rigorous enough. It's not rigorous enough. I always prefer the the written, the constructed response to the objective response. But that is what we have. Once you understand, that's why I want you to study the book like you are going to write, like you are going to, do constructive response. It is only by doing that you'll be able to choose most of the answers or have most of the answers correct. When it came because it's objectives, it will be easy. It's not easy. It's even more difficult than it. Yes. That one is very true. It's not easy at all.
Well, that one,
I
if
know.
you're not sure, you're not sure. And you're better now, but if it's something that if you are stating or you're outlining or you're doing something, at least even if you get the point, you can write something on it. So the normal account. Even like the one with the fixed direct and the fixed indirect, variable indirect and all that. If it was if I'm supposed to justify it with a normal construct, I can justify that agency labor is indirect. But now that you put it there, I have to choose one by force.
That's it.
And then I cannot write anything by the side that this is why I chose my answer.
Yes. You see, so it's good. It's good that at least we are there. We will assist you to get the understanding to be able to write. I know someone who has written this paper 3 times, the same paper 3 times. He reads a lot. He read from cover to cover, but never got the understanding. He wrote it 3 times, and he's still pending. He hasn't passed.
Wow.
Yes, it's not someone who is not good. It's very good. But you see, you need the understanding. You can read a book, but if you don't have the understanding, it becomes difficult. So I think this would also minimize the chance. Those who have gone through us, even when they fail, their second attempt with the notes and the audio, they are able to pass. You see, because the understanding is there. So you are good to go. You are good to
But
go.
even Christian,
Yeah.
when you just read the book, you don't understand.
I'm telling you, my understanding came when I started answering the questions you gave us. So I'm like, so this one is this one, then I'll go back and read it.
That is why I give you that. The assignment is for your own. It's for your own good. If you're able to do it, it will help you. You see, it's good. It's good. You will never get it if you don't get questions to answer. So you're expecting more questions in subsequent. This one questions from the mom. In subsequent, models, you get more questions. Right? Every learning outcome is a set of questions.
But Christian,
yeah,
can you do it like in such a way that we get you don't combine the whole thing so that we answer the whole thing at the end of the studies? Because most of us, like, okay, I would say most of you, like, you are normally busy. Me myself, I come to the shop and most of the time I'm busy, so it makes answering the whole thing and the questions, they are really packed, and it makes it makes answering it like very difficult. So is there a way that
Uh, I agree. So in going forward, we will I will give you a set of questions after each learning outcome.
okay,
Okay.
So if we finish the class today, I will send you the question. You
okay,
answer them
okay,
then in our next meeting. You know, we discuss
okay,
everything. Okay,
okay.
I think
That would be for
mm,
the best. It will even for it will even force us to learn ahead of uh, the
that
next class.
exactly. And
But
in
also,
mhm,
we said, why is it that they are the set of questions they release, like this
mhm,
one? Why do
mhm.
they give questions like this? Because this one and what you are going to write is totally different. So why
Oh
don't
Not
they
really?
probably bring out
yes,
like
but
past
you
questions as it is, so that you get to understand that this is how the questions are going to be asked?
see, this question in the
Because
old syllabus.
remember I told you when I wrote my first one that you gave me 1+1, and when I went there, I saw Ojibeke expression.
Aha, good. You see, you see, in the old syllabus, we had all the past questions from 2013 to I think it was 2019. We had all the questions, and we could predict. We could tell you the questions that you could get, and they were just passing like that. Some could take 4 papers and they'll pass all after taking you through the class or the model. We guide you. We tell you, no, this one it won't come because it came in March. They won't repeat it. So
Okay.
we are able to predict it. And they were getting the question, at least out of 4, they could get 3 questions solid, you know. And I don't know. CIPS, I don't whether they got to know that some people were I don't know. So they for their own reason, they decided not to make the past questions available. So that look, if we get the past questions now, oh yeah, good to go. But they won't make it available because of some people like us, guys.
No, but I understand though. So the one that they are like this one. So you
Mhm.
released the one that was written like 2 years ago, but in the format as we actually see it when we go on to the examination hall. Because this
They will
one,
help us do some trend analysis.
unfortunately, Beatrice, I'm not scaring you, but you won't get it this way. If you are relying on this one and saying that you will go there, and when they turn the thing on, your life will just turn around. I kept fighting them with my first paper. That
Interesting, but
what did they do and everything. But you see, I think because I also learned like the constructive one, because Ghana, that is how we're taught.
yeah,
When you so because you won't get these objectives, Ghana, the more objectives are like 10 or 20. The ones
yeah,
you are supposed to do, you are supposed to actually write. So my
yeah,
learning is that's how I learn. So it wasn't
yeah.
a problem. It's just that, man, that I didn't understand. I thought things were going to be like this, and I go and somebody's linking something, and I'm like, hey, what is this? It took me about 20 minutes to actually settle into the questions itself.
Wow, wow, that's
So so if this is how you're going to see it, at least they should release one that was written 2 years ago or whatever, that they will not bring any of the questions, but it is the same template, it's the same thing as they are going, so that at least you now, as you are doing the questions, you can test your ability before you go and sit there.
yeah. They have some of the questions, but you can't get more than 10. It's just 10 questions.
Yes,
10
I realized it is just 10 BP, and then that is
questions.
all.
Mm. Then they have, you know, e-learning. The questions we are seeing are from the e-learning platform, which is paid. You pay like you would have paid £20 to have access to these questions. But previous students were taught some of them bought it. That's why it's available. Okay. Like we won't even get 20 questions. But now we have about 40 questions from the e-learning platform. And you have to pick, even get these questions. You have to pay 20 pounds. I think now it's 25 or so.
You see why I say I won't do this again.
So you will have to. So we will make it available. But if you are doing, if it were self-study, you will have to pay on your own. You will have to buy it and get before you can get it. Okay, and that is even not assuring enough. It doesn't guarantee that you are going to get the same question. No.
So,
but some,
so the questions
especially,
are,
yeah, the past questions, they won't make it available because they have no intention of renewing the syllabus anytime soon. So it's the same questions they will be rotating. They will bring it.
Oh, okay.
Marking on my brain, so it will help them.
so Caroline.
So,
Hello.
Hi, bitches.
Yeah, so like how many questions did you answer in total?
60. Is it 60? Is it 60 or 100? Anna, you coming, Kayo?
yeah, 60.
60.
Yes. Okay. And there are some calculation in this model. So
Yeah.
let's
The
say,
calculation.
do you get to like send a material in so that when you are calculating, you can use to make everything simple?
You only go in with your, how do you call it, your ID card and then your confirmation letter.
Oh, but the
No.
confirmation letter, according to the mail, they said you can show it on your phone.
But once you are done, they will take the phone. Like you have to put it somewhere.
Yes, I know.
But there's a
that's why
calculator. There's a calculator that comes with a question, so you can go there and use that calculator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's possible. Okay, so we can move on. So what are the macroeconomic factors here? Question 17.
GDP,
Yes,
exchange
gross
rate, unemployment, national income, public deficit.
Public debt. Yeah, right.
This is
Okay.
17.
Okay, question 18. Drag and drop the correct word into the blank spaces to complete the paragraph about negotiation preparation. When preparing for a negotiation, a buyer should have their goals defined in the form of
Objective.
objectives, correct. It is important to understand exactly what outcome is required and to have a dash. A but now, correct, should be the desired outcome not be achievable. Okay, the objectives should be what?
Smart.
It should be smart.
It should be smart. This ensures they are specific, measurable,
Achievable.
Achievable.
Realistic, and what?
Time bound.
Time bound.
Time bound. That's the key. Okay. If both parties of the negotiation achieve their objectives, the outcome will be
Win-win.
Win-win.
Perfect. Okay. Question 19. Which of the following would
We don't
be
have
the
it.
most... Oh, sorry. Which of the following would be the most suitable location for a buyer to hold a negotiation with a strategic supplier? Choose one correct answer. Which of the following would be the most suitable location for a buyer, you the buyer, to hold a negotiation with a strategic supplier? Even without looking at the responses, would you prefer home or out or a neutral place?
Oh, I
Me,
think I
me,
would.
me the buyer. I would
Yes, you
either
the right.
do home or neutral.
Home or neutral. Okay. So let's look at the option. The supplier's factory floor, the buyer's private office, a reception area at a hotel, a supermarket car park.
Christian, it's confusing, no? Because
It
you
shouldn't.
So let me ask this
that's
question.
okay, which is
Okay.
No, you go on. Go on. You finish, Rosalind.
Okay.
because the supplier's factory floor,
Mhm.
if you would want to get to know more about the company, it will be a
Mhm.
good option to go there and then
Mhm.
at least
Oh, I like
observe
the way you are
certain
thinking.
things. Pardon?
I like the way you are thinking.
And observe
Okay.
certain things yourself. But that definitely
Mm-hmm.
comes with your cost and everything. And
Yeah.
then
This
if
or negotiation.
yes,
Mm-hmm. When you want to check the factory floor, if you want to maybe do the inspection, you are speaking in the context of supplier pre-qualification. When you want to know more about the supplier, then you conduct site visit and all that.
mhm,
But when it comes to negotiation, you are looking for a place you can meet. That time it's not, questions. It's not for uh, assessing the capability of the supplier and all that. That one, you should even do that one way before
yeah.
you get to negotiation level or stage. Okay. Okay. So now it is time for negotiation.
So is
You
there
are
private
deciding to
office?
compare. Yes, you prefer to have it in your private office. You have all the files you need, the information you need at your possession. You have all the people you need at your possession. So home negotiation is the most preferred option
I
to
was
every.
confused with the private network.
Uh,
But you know,
uh,
do you know how
yeah.
I just saw it with the way Rosalind answered when she said
Mm,
either home or neutral grounds. So the
mhm.
supplier's factory floor is away.
It's away. the
Yes, it's a,
the
The
reception
buyer's
hotel is
private,
neutral, but you can't have it at the reception. And then there's
yes,
exactly.
no
and
market.
then
So
yes,
the
and then the
obvious one
buyer's
is B.
private office is home.
Okay.
That is it. You see, so if you look at it in the context of home, away, and neutral,
Neutral.
Okay.
it's defined. Mm. Okay. So question 20. Look at the graph. What point does an arrow represent? So, if you look at the graph, it's not clear enough. Yeah. But the red line,
Break even.
okay, that's the break-even point. Okay, so where uh, revenue was cost, that's the equilibrium. Revenue equals cost. Oh. I don't. I wish I could make it clear. Okay. So that's the break-even point. When you have the question, so when you open it, you it will be clearer at your end.
Yes, I've opened
Oh,
it. It's clearer.
okay. Okay. Now, Nina works for an organization that produces canned vegetables. While planning a date for a negotiation with a strategic supplier for the metal tins which contains which contain the vegetables, Nikita decided to make notes on the aspects that she needed to conduct research on in order to be fully prepared. So, whilst planning a date for negotiation with a strategic supplier for the metal things which contain the vegetables, Nikita decided to make notes on the aspects that she needed to conduct research on in order to be fully prepared. The things or the teams are a core product to the organization. So she had to ensure supply was continuous. She knew that the economy was volatile and hoped that she could convince her supplier to share their so they could work together to form a win-win outcome. Right. Yes, so they could work together to form a win-win outcome. She had read in the media that prices were due to increase significantly due to consumers wishing to purchase more volume than was available. Nikita faced pressure from her finance director to produce a set of figures which stated exactly how much the supplier would invoice each month. This was something she had to negotiate with her supplier. Despite working closely with the supplier for a number of years, Nikita knew that she had an option to obtain the contract from another supplier if a mutually acceptable agreement could not be reached. So it means Nikita had a partner.
Mhm.
That's it. She had a partner. So um, read the questions and use your knowledge to choose the best options. You will score 1 point for choosing the best option and lose 1 point for all others. Okay. So would you like me to read it again?
No, Christian, this one you for
Oh,
me that you answer all the question and explain to me because my understanding was not clear.
oh, don't worry. So when we take the first question, question 21, what type of costing is Nikita hoping her supplier will agree to? If you read the second paragraph, I think the second line, she knew that the economy was volatile and hoped that she could convince her supplier to share their costs so they could work together to form a win-win outcome. Because we know that win-win negotiation requires transparency and communication, effective communication and information sharing. So she would expect the supplier to uh, share their cost information, and that is open book costing.
Okay, but
Open book cost. If you want your supplier to share cost information, you, it is called open book cost. And you can only do that if you have a very good relationship with the supplier. The suppliers will not share their cost information with anybody or any buyer. Even the one they share is not totally transparent. It's not the absolute figures. They are not absolute. They are cooked. Some of them are cooked. They don't reflect the actual cost they incur. It's just for your analysis, the buyer's consumption. Okay. So there is this saying that in the business world, there is nothing like absolute transparency. But if you're able to get a supplier to be more than 50% transparent with you, you take it like that. It's better. They can never be 100% transparent. Okay. So, uh, question 22. In order to meet the demands of the finance director, what type of pricing arrangement or agreement should Nikita try and negotiate? So, if you look at the second, I think the third, uh, paragraph, or the second, yeah, the third, said Nikita faced pressure from her finance director to produce a set of figures which stated exactly how much the supplier would invoice each month. This was something she had to negotiate with her supplier. So they needed a fixed amount that will be paid each month. So they don't want a situation where they will say, we change the price. The price has things have increased, so they should pay a price that reflects the new market rate. No, the finance director wanted exactly how much the supplier would invoice. It should be a fixed amount. And there was pressure on Nikita to do that. So Nikita had to negotiate with her supplier for fixed price agreement. Fixed price agreement. Now, fixed price agreement is an agreement or pricing arrangement where prices are fixed for the period within which the contract is active. No adjustment is made in the area of price or prices. So it could be construction of a building. You can ask the supplier to give you a fixed price for the building. They may mention 200,000 Ghana cedis. That's all. Once you give him the money or you finish paying the money, that is it. When bags of cement, the prices of cement bag increases, you are not affected. Okay, you are not affected by fluctuations in the prices of the materials the supply is going to use to put up that building, because you've been charged a fixed price. But there are other fixed price arrangements which I wouldn't want to bother you. We would look at them like firm fixed pricing and firm fixed price or fixed price arrangements with contract price adjustment clause. So plain TB. We'll look at that when we get there. So question 22. Yes, Nikita can try and negotiate for fixed price agreement. Then question 23. What is the phrase used to, let me go back. Yes, what is the phrase used to explain the situation Nikita finds herself in? Choose the best option. So what situation does she find herself in? If you read the last paragraph, it says, despite working closely with the supplier for a number of years, Nikita knew that she had an option to obtain the contract from another supplier if a mutually acceptable agreement could not be reached. Okay, so here, what does this mean? Does it mean supply is exceeding demand? Supply is matching demand, or demand is exceeding supply? So if you look at the situation Nikita finds herself, do you think she finds herself in a perfect competitive market or a monopoly market? The buyer's market or the supplier's market?
Definitely supply is not matching demand.
Mm-hmm.
Demand is exceeding supply.
Okay. demand is exceeding supply. Yes. So despite working closely with this supplier for a number of years, Nikita knew that she had an option to obtain the contract from another supplier if a mutually acceptable agreement could not be reached. Okay. Do you know why demand is outstripping supply? You could even look at the position of, if you look at the position of Nikita, you realize that the nature of the items in question are strategic. You read the first uh, paragraph, you see a strategic supplier, and strategic suppliers are few. They are few. So Nikita may have just two suppliers or three options to choose from, but there is cost in switching from one supplier to the other. Switching cost. You don't just, even though she has an option, switching to that option is cost. So we can say demand outstripping supply. Yes, you need the supplier. Okay, we don't have more suppliers. She doesn't have as many suppliers as she would want to. Okay, question 24. What term best describes Nikita's option if she cannot reach a satisfactory outcome with her supplier? Choose the best option. Those one we've answered for. So that is a button. She has a button. Question 25. Which of the following are forms of nonverbal communication? Choose 5 correct answers. So we can start choosing them.
Christian,
Yeah.
please, what was the answer for question 24?
Button.
Okay.
Question 25. Which of the following are forms of nonverbal communication?
Nodding.
Nodding, 1.
Fidgeting.
Fidgeting, 2.
B, crossed arms.
Crossed arms, 3.
Lack of eye contact.
4.
Christian smiling so can.
Okay, so smiling. Smiling is also. Yeah. If the pastor is preaching and he looks at your face and you are smiling, it means you are paying attention. You are with me. Okay. Question 26. Which of the following are ways that performance in a negotiation can be reflected upon? That's the last chapter. Choose 3 correct answers. How can we reflect on our negotiation performance?
I think so. Feedback.
Okay, feedback.
Creating journal.
Yes, creating a journal, personal development journal.
Stakeholder reaction.
Yes, the other part, the supplier, when he gets angry, he tells you that, yeah, he wasn't happy, even his facial expression and the relationship afterwards, their reaction. Yes, could tell you that it didn't go well. Okay. The next question, question 27, is still drag and drop. We are looking at types of questions.
Christian.
Yeah.
So do you get this type of question
Yes.
in the?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Question 27. Do you like your job? We are looking at the types of questions. We've looked at, we have open questions, closed questions, recall questions, leading questions. Okay. Do you like your job? What type of question is that?
Close
It's a
question.
yes or no, so it's closed.
Yeah.
Why do you like your job?
Open question.
Why do you like it? It's open. Okay. How interesting is your, or how interesting do you find your job? How interesting do you find your job? Instead
Leading
of
question.
asking the leading question, they should first ask you, do you find your job interesting? So that you say no or yes. But how interesting do you find your job? Very interesting, not interesting. Okay, so it's a leading question. So the last question, you know, caters for itself. What was it like when you started your first job? This is a recall question or more of a reflective question. Recall or reflective. Sometimes you may feel reflective. Question 8. Drag and drop the stages of negotiation into the correct order. So please do that for me and let's go.
Preparation.
Preparation 1.
Testing.
Preparation testing. Mm-hmm.
Proposing.
Proposing.
Agreement and closure.
Agreement and closure. So PT pack. Okay. PT pack. You can put it in your protege. Okay. Question 29. Match the push and pull, match the push and pull categories with the description. Okay. So directive, visionary, collaborative, persuasive. So the influencer accepts their own views and ideas and expect others to follow.
Thank you, director.
Directive.
That is okay. The influencer aims to involve others who will offer views and ideas.
Collaborative.
That is collaborative. The influencer wants others to buy into their ideas by presenting them in a logical way.
Persuasive reasoning.
The influencer engages others' emotions and imaginations to help them visualize what could be.
Visionary.
Visionary.
Okay. All right. So we can move next question. Match the key words to the correct definition. Supplier inspection, supplier conditioning, and trade up. Okay. Now the first is the process of training or accustoming a supplier or suppliers to behave in a certain way or to accept certain circumstances is called
Supplier conditioning.
supplier condition. A negotiation variable such as price or contract length that can be treated with the other party in a negotiation.
Tradables.
Tradable. So these are the variables that or concessions. You don't see tradables, you see concessions. Okay. Uh, a way of testing a supplier's product or service to confirm compliance with the standard set by the organization. That one, straightforward. Question 31. Match the key words to the correct definition. Best alternative to negotiated agreement. This one just forward. Okay, I will answer this question. Question 32. I think we've answered something similar to this. Okay, let's look at that also. We have collaborative, visionary, and direct. This is an I-driven style. I-driven style where the influencer accepts their own views and ideas and expect others to follow. We've answered a question like this already. So go to question 33. A truly collaborative negotiation is typified by which of the following? Yeah, let's choose one correct answer.
Both parties understand each other's goals.
Yes, correct. Both parties understand each other's goals. Okay, it means you understand collaborative negotiation. Question 34. Which of the following is the best example of a partner?
A marker is placed.
A marker
A
is
walk-away point.
a walk-away point. A walk-away point is one example.
That is
It
the
is-
other main point.
Partner gives you a walk-away point. It helps you know when to walk away. Yeah. It helps you know when to walk away. And that is the walk-away point. But when you have a contingency supplier, as in the case of Nikita, you see, Nikita knew that if the negotiation doesn't go well, she could fall on the other supplier. So that supplier is called a contingency supplier. Contingency in the sense that he is your plan B. So a partner is your a buyer or the owner's plan B. Either the buyer or the supplier. If you have a plan B, the plan B is your partner. So it could be a contingency supplier or a contingency buyer. A supplier could also have a plan B. If you are not buying at that price, there is another buyer who is willing to buy at a higher price. So he will sell it to that buyer. So either a supplier or buyer would have a contingency supplier or contingency buyer. Okay. Then question 35. Distributive negotiations are most typically associated with which type of item? So this one has to do with the Kajik matrix. Beatrice, I hope you are familiar with the project matrix. Don't worry. It's in your book. It's in the book. It's in the book. So I'll just refer you to the page. Distributive negotiations are most typically associated with which type of item? Routine items.
Well, I think it's routine. Okay.
Yeah, routine item. Okay. Then question 36. A category manager. Who is a category manager? Do you have an idea?
An expert.
Yeah, you see, um, in every company, not should I say every company, in most manufacturing companies, um, even when you go to, let's use MTN as an example, or a bank as an example, they have a lot of things they buy from suppliers. They buy IT, IT accessories. They buy stationery. They buy other things. A category manager is or manages a particular category of purchase. Okay, so you could be the category manager for only IT products or IT. So you manage all the suppliers that are in the area of IT that supply IT accessories. They are the only suppliers you are going to manage. Beatrice could be in charge of stationery. So she manages all the suppliers supplying stationery to the company. Or so you are both category managers, but your areas vary. You are into IT and Beatrice is into stationery. That is it. So a category manager is having an unsuccessful negotiation with a supplier. A recess is called during which the category manager has decided to adopt a different approach when the negotiations reconvene. So they went for a break, and the category manager wants to adopt a different approach because the negotiation, is not going well. As the meeting restarts, the category manager reminds the supplier of its contractual obligation and says, if we cannot reach agreement here today, do not forget that I can serve notice to terminate the contract. This is an example of which type of power?
Coercive.
Coercive power. Coercive power. Straight away. Then question 37. Question 37. Question 37. A procurement manager has been negotiating with a supplier for half an hour and is frustrated with the lack of progress. They are seeking a price reduction. After a short recess, the procurement manager says to the supplier, how about if we agree to increase the guaranteed volume for the first 12 months? By how much will you reduce the price? This is an example of which type or which of the following? Threat, motion, not bargaining.
Bargaining.
This is an example of bargain. Okay. A supplier, question 38. A supplier has provided a breakdown of its cost, which comprise $250,000 fixed cost and $75 per unit variable cost. Its total cost for product X amounts to $800,000. It determines its pricing based on applying a fixed profit percentage of 25% of these costs. 25% of these costs. So the price is $1 million. The 25% profit of this, or sorry, the 25% profit is known as.
Markup.
That's the markup. That's the markup. Okay. So percentage on cost. Then question 39. The supplier's break-even point is reached when its revenues exceed which of the following? When the supplier's revenue exceeds opportunity cost, total fixed cost, variable production cost, equity cost. So they are choosing two. So the supplier's break-even point is reached when its revenue exceeds which of the following? So by the option means we are choosing two.
Christian,
Yes.
I think total fixed cost and variable production costs. It's
Yes.
50. Okay, it's
Total
correct.
fixed cost, variable production cost. So the two gives you the total cost. The total cost. Okay. And the last but okay, so this is not even the last but not the question 40. Can closed questions be useful in a negotiation?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it or no? If it's yes, then we have only two options, A and B.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's yes because they are good to check understanding. Yes, because they can encourage detailed responses.
Check understanding.
It is to check understanding. Okay. Question 41. Which of the following are most likely to be fixed costs for a manufacturing business? Select the three that apply. Fixed costs for a manufacturing business. Select the three that apply.
Factory rent,
Yes, rent is fixed cost.
insurance,
Insurance premium fixed every month will pay.
casual labor.
Casual labor,
No.
Full-time staff
No.
salaries. Oh.
Yeah, full-time staff salary.
Yeah, full
So
time.
every month you are taking it. It's not based on the number of things you produce. It's fixed. So it's fixed cost for the company. Okay. Question 42. Those are last questions. Then I will leave you.
Listen, so please, it's full-time staff salaries.
Yes, please. So we have factory rent, full-time staff salary, and insurance.
Okay.
Components are raw material, and they vary based on demand. If demand increases, components, you will need more components. Casual labor, if demand increases, you would need more labor. And marketing itself, marketing also varies. Marketing doesn't communicate. Marketing, if you want to increase sales, you increase your market advertisement, it will bring you more sales. So that is also variable. Then question 42. Which of the following are recognized forms of nonverbal communication? Choose three that apply.
Facial expression.
Facial expression.
Hand gestures.
And just to
Body posture.
and body posture. Correct. So that is it for today. Yes, the assignment I gave you. So you can mark yourself. You can mark your responses. The assignment I gave you. Beatrice, I hope you've done yours. I saw.
No, I've not sent it.
You
The
saw.
one I sent to you was the one I just did.
Okay.
This one.
Okay. When am I
Yeah.
expected?
I'll
Because
send
if
it
you
to
don't.
you later today.
Okay. Okay. Once you send it, we can discuss. It's going to be tailored. Mhm. Okay. So when are you writing your paper?
Mine is on Wednesday.
Wednesday. Please be sure because some have been missing.
No, Wednesday, 12 p.m. 13th.
Mine is on Friday.
Friday.
15. Yeah.
But always double check. Okay.
Okay, sure.
If 2 days or 2 days or 3 days time. Double check. Because we've had
Listen, if
a
let's
number of.
assume if it is Monday and I think it is Wednesday, and I go on Wednesday, won't let me write.
No. Your time has elapsed.
Hey, Sikanashi.
That is. Look, we've had 3 people missing papers. The timetable. They were so sure that they were having it on Thursday. Meanwhile, they were supposed to do it on Wednesday or Tuesday. And they were learning
Please, I
English from
just checked.
Waboka.
It's 13th. Oh no, so
Ah,
like it's
so
done. It's done. They won't give them my chance to write it.
yeah, if it's done, it's done. They won't give you any other chance. You have just one chance.
So you write it like a field paper, like Sikanashi, like it's done.
And actually, we feel it. That's it. So you register again and write.
Write it again.
Hey.
So always double check 2 days to the time and be very sure.
Okay.
Sometimes the days, if it is Thursday, you may think it's Tuesday. The Thursday now checking it, which is say Tuesday is better. But the Thursday or Tuesday now, what you say Thursday? Now one for the hour.
Mine is 15th.
Okay, Christian.
All right. So thanks for your time. Wish
Okay.
you all the
So we are done with you, or you are done with us.
yes. Oh, I am done with you, but you may not be done with me. So also done with the paper.
Okay, so
I'm
we are not
available.
meeting tomorrow. We are done for classes.
Yes, that we are done. So if you have,
Okay.
unless perhaps there is something you may need further explanation on, you can engage me. Then we can
Okay, Christian.
But I'm available. So you write your paper. I'll be waiting for your call message. If you have any concerns, you can just send it
Okay,
to
but
us.
Christian, which of the chapters should we mostly focus on? That's likely most of the
For this
questions will be coming
particular
from.
for this particular course, almost every chapter is very important.
Yeah.
Every it's not like a supply relationship where you have a lot of questions coming from partners.
Yeah.
This one is scattered. It's scattered.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And let's do one up from one of our clients. I think the supply relationship. 65. Page
Hello,
65.
Christian.
Yeah,
Page 6. Please come again.
65. Page 64 and page 65.
54, 55.
64, 65.
Okay, Christian.
Is it 6 or 5?
64.
Okay.
64, 65. They got some questions from here.
Okay.
So kindly master them. in addition to the others we are yet to know.
Okay, Christian. Yes,
Enjoy
actually,
your
cylinder no man show. I was looking at the triangle there. That's that because I didn't understand it. Also, so I'm like, oh, they won't ask you anything there.
See, they apply questions. They apply.
Yes, I wanted to ask you this time around the application question that draws
But
and
before
then go and then some of them are asking you to go and check. So I wanted to ask, is it that what they're asking you to go and check, questions need to be verbal now because it's like from every area you get to the apply and you are supposed to go and check something.
Yeah, go through all the apply. Go through all. Some are case studies. Even in the apply, they've answered some of the questions. They've given you an idea. So you can just be given that.
Okay. All right, Christian, sure.
They apply and check. Apply and check.
Okay.
Enjoy your.
All right, Christian. Thank you for everything.
Okay. Okay, thank you.